Alright guys, how's it going today? Today I've got a video here on my Note 3, Galaxy Note 3. This is the Verizon variant. And I'm going to show you guys how to install this ROM. It's called HyperDrive Rom, and it is actually really awesome. So we're going to go through a quick install of it, and then I'm going to show you guys specifically HyperDrive tweaks, because they are amazing. I absolutely love HyperDrive tweaks. He's done a new update with it recently, and we're going to go through it. So this is going to be installing ROM version RLS7 on this device. Now, just so you guys do know, over here I have my Galaxy S4, and it also has HyperDrive available for it for Verizon. It's called the RLS15 ROM, so definitely check it out for there. I'll give you guys links to both of these, but I'm just going to show it to you on my Note 3, so you'll be able to see. You can do the exact same setup on the Note 3 or the S4 on Verizon. Now, this also HyperDrive, I think this guy, this developer is awesome. He's probably got it from almost all the Samsung devices, I mean across carriers. So definitely check it out for your carrier, but I'm going to be showing you how to do it on this device. And it'll be a little bit different for the install, but not a big deal. So first thing you're going to want to do is make sure you download the ROM, obviously. So I downloaded mine and actually placed it in my external SD card, and I put it in this folder called ROMs. Right there is HyperDrive RLS7, and there it is. So very simple. Prerequisites for this are obviously you're going to have some kind of custom recovery installed, whether it's Safestrap like it is on these two Verizon devices, or you have TWRP or Clockwork Mod Recovery for whatever device you have. Otherwise, install. I'm going to show you with Safestrap, so it's going to be a little different than normal recovery, but just check your thread for HyperDrive and it'll give you specific instructions for your carrier. So that all being said, let's go ahead and power this device off, actually do a restart, and get into Safestrap. So there you go, that's even a power off screen. I've not actually seen that myself yet because I just installed this ROM to check it out. I actually like the power off screen as much as I think I like the power on screen. That's actually pretty cool. Was not expecting that right there at all. So we're going to power up here. This is going to get us into Safestrap Recovery, and you should see a splash screen here. Now, if you don't have Safestrap Recovery installed, do not have root access, do not have any of that stuff on your device, and you want to install this ROM, check out all my videos on this device. I have a whole playlist, and it'll walk you through everything you need to know about getting root access, about getting Safestrap installed, and even how to use Safestrap, because I'm not going to go over that too much in this video. So we're in Safestrap. We have a ROM slot activated, ROM slot 1, so everything's in green. So first thing you're going to do, you come in here, and you're in a ROM slot activated, is you want to go ahead and do a wipe. Even if you're on an old version of HyperDrive, you probably still want to wipe it and just start new. Kind of stinks. You might want to back up applications in titanium backups or something like that beforehand, but it's always good to do a new clean install. So we're going to go to wipes, swipe across, and this is going to wipe everything out and give you a clean slate to install here. And then we're going to go to installs, click on the ROM, make sure it's listed, it is, and slide across to flash. That's really going to be it. It is very simple to do. Install here is going to take about 2 minutes for this to run through the install. As soon as it does, we'll come right back to it. One note while this is installing is that this ROM is based on build MJE, at least the S or RLS7 version of it is. You can see the screen just went off, so if that does that, just hit the power button and you'll come back. You can unlock the screen and still watch the install. So it's based on MJE or build MJE, so it's very important that you guys understand that, because if you want to install this, if your stock ROM slot should be on MJE. And again, same thing with the S4, it's based on MK2, I think. So you need to make sure your stock system's on MK2, or you flash the module zip at the end. So right here, if you're on that device, the S4, you go ahead and hit home and then find your module zip, flash it, and then you reboot. But since I'm on MJE, which is what the Note 3 is on, I don't need to flash any modules. That's what my stock system already is, and this is based on that, so we're good to go. So I'm just going to go ahead and say reboot system, and we're going to get our first boot up here. Now you can see it doesn't have that unlock symbol, which is just nice, that it's not showing you that unlock symbol right there on boot up. And then obviously you have your Safestrap splash screen, just like always. You can hit continue, or you can just wait and it will boot. And let's just check out the boot animation really quick. While this is booting up, I guess 2 notes I would tell you. Before you do any hacking on your phones, and even though we've already flashed this at this point, it's very important that you have pretty good battery life, at least 50% or more, just for safety reasons. And then other than that, you know, you should be pretty good to go. Pretty cool here. I like this little boot screen right here. Gives you some little information about your device, even though it's not actually reading this. It's just animation, but it's still very cool. Looks pretty sweet. Enjoy HyperDrive experience. It's got the little HyperDrive at the bottom, which I think is really cool looking. This has actually been tweaked from the last update, so it's got a couple little tweaks in it and added little things in here. So first boot up on this thing, I think it's going to take you probably about 2 minutes if you have a clean, good install. If it takes you over 10 minutes to boot, you obviously have something going on that's not working correctly, and you need to probably pull battery and then get back into stock ROM slot or something, or try to reflash it, something like that. Otherwise, you should be good to go here. I'm going to let this boot. I'm going to run through some setup of it, and then we're going to show you this ROM. So there you go. It actually booted up already. Well, since we're booted already, the one note I did see is to let this thing sit for, you know, about 5 minutes. Like right here, just let it sit. Alright, it takes a little bit for all these tweaks and mods to kind of get worked into the system. So I'm actually going to pause, and we'll come back to in about 5 minutes once I let this thing sit here and kind of cool off. Alright, well, we've let this thing sit here, so let's go ahead and just turn it back on here. And there is your splash screen, or your unlock screen I should say. And you see you can slide over here and get camera, or you can slide over here and unlock, or you can slide up and go right to Google. Pretty cool. Also has the Galaxy S5 like wallpaper here, which is pretty slick. So we're going to go ahead and unlock it, and I'm going to do a quick overview of the ROM and what's in it, and then from there I'm going to actually really get into this HyperDrive tweaks. That's really what I want to show you guys because I think it's absolutely amazing. So we're going to go ahead and go into applications and look through this really quick. It pretty much has most of the Samsung applications in here. It does look like all of the Verizon stuff has been pulled out of this. So you do have your gear manager for the Galaxy Gear. It does come with ES File Explorer, which I'm loving because that's my favorite file explorer. Here's all your HyperDrive applications, which we'll get into. Standard file browser, more S Pen, S Note, all that kind of stuff going on here. Super Sue, obviously, for root access. Torch, which is also very nice. Viper for Android FX, which is like an audio manager. Equalizer, I guess you could say. And so on. So that's pretty much it. 2 pages of applications, your widgets, which are pretty much standard. There's nothing really exciting in here. It does have icon changer built into it, and we will get into that a little bit hopefully as this goes through. Other than that, you got your screens right here. Pretty standard setup. Let's go ahead and check out your widgets or toggles up here. So this is one of the things you can see there already that's pretty neat, and I'll point out a couple things here. Obviously your toggles are right here, which are a little bit different than you've probably seen before, and actually a little hard to see. But like this one right here is actually torch, and it does actually function. It's hard to see that, but there's light back there, which is really cool. I like having that torch toggle. That's a very nice toggle up there. The other thing you can see right here is your CPU usage and the different cores. So you have 4 different cores. You can see what percentage they're running. I think that's really sweet that that's built in. I like it. It's that nerdy side of me that just loves that kind of stuff. And then right here, this is really nice. It's a little quick launch thing you can do. You can add an app to it if you want. Come in here, ES File Browser, so you can add them, and then you can scroll over and you can keep adding. So you have a little quick shortcut if you want to get to things that you are always on, always touching. You can put them right here in your pull down, which again, really awesome. If you come in here, you can see all of your toggles. One of the toggles I always like to point out is right down here is toddler mode, which is really cool. It basically just kind of like locks down your device so your kid can play with it and they're not going to really mess anything up. So that's a very neat mode down there for sure. I like to turn on power savings almost always just because it's really important to me. My device lasts a long time. Here's a really cool one here is battery stats toggle. It actually doesn't toggle anything, it just pushes you right into battery stats. So if you like that kind of stuff, like I said, that's the nerd side of me, as I was telling you. Other than that, pretty slick. Up there looks good. Now one thing I like to point out, that because people when they get this are like, what, this is weird, why can't I turn off my device? There's no power off, restart, it's not there. It's a little confusing. So with that note, I guess we're gonna actually get into our HyperDrive tweaks, which is what I wanted to show you, and I'm gonna explain some of those things to you as we go here. You can also see you have a battery icon up there, and you also have a little a lock thing, which actually just shuts the screen off if you touch it. See it? And you got to turn the screen back on and unlock it. So it's there, but it's kind of annoying. I don't like it really. It has a feature, but just not for me. So now we're going to explain to you how you get rid of those things and how you adjust, and so you have a power menu. So this is HyperDrive tweaks. You want to go ahead and grant super user access to it. Here's a little note from the developer talking about it, talking about how it could mess up your device, be careful, that kind of stuff, some warnings. Definitely read through that. And now right here it says, consider going to Pro. Alright, I've looked through this application. As soon as I get done with this video, I'm buying the Pro. Pro is, it's well worth it. It supports the developer. This HyperDrive tweaks is awesome. I'm not joking, guys. You guys are going to love it, alright? Right now I'm just going to say not now because I don't want to do it during the video. So, again, right here is the developer, which I'm terrible with names, but sbreen94. He's the developer of HyperDrive and HyperDrive tweaks. Just some little information about him, different things you can read through right there. So that's the first page. Now, the way this works is you just keep scrolling over. Alright, so the first thing I want to turn on here is, see if I can find it here. Right here. Power off. Restart, airplane mode, torch, screenshots. Now, when you hold the power button, shabam, you have all your options you picked right there. That's how you turn them on. That's how you get them on there, so you can actually shut your device out without pulling the battery. Alright, so there's obviously other options you can do, recovery, download mode, that kind of stuff if you want to. There's this thing, I'm not joking, this thing is just so packed full of settings, it's just, I absolutely love it. I absolutely love it. I can't even go through all of them. There's just so many here. I'm not even going to be able to go through all of it, but I'll just kind of skim through it. You've got just wallpaper things, home screen, swipe up target. So right now if you swipe up on the home screen, you open My Magazine. I don't like that. I like Google, so I can say open Google Now by checking that box, and just more functional for me. I actually use Google Now. Alright, so now we're going to come on here. And this is where it comes down to the theming, and I just love this stuff. So right here you've got network traffic colors, and you can change that and adjust your coloring up here on your notification bar. AM PM styles, clock styles. So right now we're on the right, so we're going to say center, and boom, the clock moves to the center. Carrier stuff, toggle indicators, brightnesses, CPU core load widget. I mean, it goes on and on. And there's normally a little bit of information below them that tells you about them. So hide icons here, that's what that is. Soft key enable. So what that does is if you turn that on, it actually puts on a nav bar down at the bottom with your home, back, and menu instead of using these three buttons that are built into the phone. Takes up a little bit of screen space, but cool if you like that kind of stuff. So let's keep going here. Alright, so here we got battery information. So this is going to be totally theming your battery. And I think also a battery bar. Yes, battery bar right here, you can turn that on. Now, some things in here do not function without doing a system restart. So just be aware of that. So for example, I think battery bar will not do it without doing a system restart. And to do that, I'll just scroll over one screen here. Okay, and there you go. So you see that little button right there, that little circle? That does a little quick system restart. And oh yeah, there's my battery bar, but it's not very thick. So let me make it a little bit thicker here. Pretty sure I can adjust that. where's it at? Color, it's on, animation mode. Well, it's very thin up there on the top. I'll look into it later, but I know there's a way you can actually adjust the thickness of the bar on here. So anyway, it's just packed full of stuff. So let's keep going on this. So here you got colors, and this is what I'm going to show you because I love this. I just love the customization. I can't say enough about this application. It just does so much on here. You can change all this right here: status bar colors, clocks, Wi-Fi, signal, notification panel, drop down clock. I mean, it just settings buttons. It just goes on and on. So I'm going to show you one really quick and show you how it works. So these are my settings buttons right here, these two. So we're going to go to settings buttons. We're going to pick, I don't know, like pink or something. So we're going to pick pink, and I'm going to actually go back into it because what I like to do, if I'm going to pick this as my theme, is I go copy, and then if I like pink on a lot of stuff, I can now paste it where I want it. So I'm going to move pink right there. I'm going to say my on toggles are going to also be pink, and you'll see how these are going to change. Alright, we can go back. And why didn't it take that? Hang on. Done. Alright, there we go. On indicators are also going to be that same color. So you can see why I copied, otherwise you got to remember the color and like keep typing it in. It just makes it easier to do it this way. Alright, and actually I'm also going to change my background color to black. Okay. Alright, so now what we can do here is we can go ahead and hit this restart button, and shabam! So there you go. You can see my settings up here are in pink. My toggles now, when they're toggled, are in pink, and you can see them all, and they look really cool, and you can like totally theme your device this way. It's amazing. Absolutely, like I said, absolutely love it. And it keeps going. I mean, you can do all the toggles, you can adjust power. So right here, see what it says, power menu, icons and text, menu buttons. I mean, it's all here. It's just loaded with good stuff. So then you can come in here and you can adjust pie control. I have a whole video on pie control. It's a whole nother beast in itself to go through it all, but you can adjust and tweak all of it right here. You go through all of this stuff. Okay. Lock screen, again, AOSP lock screen, all kinds of settings and things you can adjust on here. Torch light on the lock screen. I mean, music controls, volume up, action, volume down, action on lock screen. I mean, it's just ridiculous how much is on here. Multi-window manager, enable or disable apps in the flash bar. So what that does, I'll show you really quick. We'll grant it. Alright, so then what we can do is, normally in this bar right here, you can only put a certain amount of applications in it, and only ones that are approved for it. Now once you do that, now you can actually put any application you want in there. So for example, I mean, we can put in Super Sue or something like that, Torch, whatever, and now they're going to be in there. And then you hit save. Alright, and it says reboot, please reboot when done. That just means that to get that to fully function, you have to reboot, but not a big deal. We'll do that later though. So you can see it just goes on. It's just ridiculous. Super user, you got all these different customization things you can do right here and modify and edit. And then here you go. So now you've got exposed. So if you've seen any of my exposed framework videos, boom, install any of the exposed stuff, and you can get that stuff working on here true, like greenify, you know, all your good exposed modules on there and get them rolling and running right here, which is very sweet. The next one is settings, and basically what this is it's a memory management stuff. So it manages your RAM. And make sure there's free RAM to run new applications. And if you want to, what's easy, if you don't understand how to set this stuff, what's really cool is you can just come down here and pick how you want it to manage it. So you can do light, medium, heavy, aggressive. So you go aggressive, it's going to try to kill down a lot of stuff running in the background and keep a lot of free memory for new applications, which should try to keep it running a little smoother. But you might actually make it run a little rougher too, because if it's closing down applications you're always accessing, they take a little longer to boot. So you just got to understand that, and you can adjust all this stuff. Set them on boot if you like the setting. If you get one that you really like, just set it at boot and it'll always go to that setting. and manage the memory that way every time you boot your device. So you have SD read ahead, which is really nice. You can adjust that stuff, and you have some pretty in-depth ratios and things you can get into right here if you want to. This gets a little more dangerous once you go farther this way into this thing, but very cool. So then you've got tools and fixed permissions, zip lines, wipe cache and delete cache, some reboot options right here you can use as well. Like I said, this thing just keeps going. Package manager right here, and you can adjust and enable a couple different things. Persistent densities, persistent hosts. Not really sure how this all works exactly. I'd have to read into a little more, but there is some good information right here about data persistences right there you can read. And okay, so now we've got uptime, so it tells you how long your processor has been in a certain CPU. Your CPU has been in a certain megahertz range. It tells you amount of time and percentage. Just some good data right here, which is just really nice. And we'll keep going right here. So this is CPU information. Just a lot of information about your CPU. If you really like this nerdy kind of stuff, I do. This is just a nice way to reference it all and check it out. And we'll keep going. So here you got CPU settings. So this is going to be having to do with, well, if you had a custom kernel, this would be how you would overclock your processor. Alright, you can also just tell your processor to run a little slower all the time, not even to let it get up to full speed. Alright, so you can see I'm moving it around here. So you can bring it down and it won't ever get up to full speed, or you can bring it up so the minimum's up so it will never get really low. It just runs fast all the time. And you can tweak that how you want it. Which is very cool. You can also change your governors and your I/O schedulers, and that's going to do different things with your CPU and how it manages that and how it ramps up and down your CPU. So it might be better for performance, or it might be better for battery, and there's just things you can adjust here. And then if you get something you really like the way it's set up, you can set on boot, and boom, there you go. It'll always run that way every time you boot your device. So I know this has been kind of a long video, but there is just so much in HyperDrive tweaks that are amazing. I love it. It's all in one spot, makes it real simple. Definitely really nice. Last thing I want to show you in this ROM really quick are two things. There's HyperDrive Hub, which is really cool because if you get OTA updates, you can come in here and check, and if he updates the ROM, you can get the update right here, download it right to your device, and boom, you're good to go. So bloatware apps you can also download, so any of those apps that he pulled out, if you want them, you can come in here and get all the Verizon bloatware apps, download them to your device, and reinstall them if you like those things on your device. So that's also very nice. Over here you can get a bunch of themes that can be flashed in recovery and download them and theme your device with those. If you don't want to use the toggles and HyperDrive tweaks, I love them, so I'm using those. And I hear you can use icon changer. I was telling you about this earlier, and you can use it to change your icons with some icon packs and stuff like that, which is very cool. Some add-on wallpapers right there, skins and fonts if you want to get into those. That's HyperDrive Hub. And then lastly, HyperDrive Files Manager is just a really cool interface file manager. So I just have some things that kind of pre-sorts your stuff, gives you some nice specs along the bottom, very much MIUI looking. And then you can go directly to all the files this way if you want, or you could even hook up an FTP server and access those directly as well if they're on your network. So overall, this ROM is amazing. What a huge improvement. Not that the other one was bad, I thought it was absolutely excellent as well, but just love it. Love it, love it, love it. If you can't hear me, get this thing on your device. The customization is amazing. There you go. That's going to be it, guys. That's going to be my review of HyperDrive ROM with all the HyperDrive tweaks and amazingness on the Note 3. Be exactly the same on the S4. Hope you guys like this video, and we'll catch you guys in the next one. Rootjunky out.